Well, good morning, Wareham. It is Friday, July 26th, and I have a great show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. Nadia Karitnakova is in the studio to digest this week's news and events. Also, Scott Record shares about his way of making the classic clam chowder. But also, Indiana Troop, our youth news correspondent, is in the studio as well. He will be speaking with Danielle Ambrose, a Wareham public school graduate, also a nurse at Minot Forest Elementary. All that and more this morning. But first, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the weather and the news headlines are next. Well, enjoy the abundant sunshine today with high at 81, mostly clear skies tonight with low at 62. The weekend looks great. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high at 81 and low at 64. Sunny Sunday, high at 82 and low at 69. And there were a lot of news stories this week. Here are the news headlines. Wareham Week newspaper had the following stories. The Redevelopment Authority met with Colleen Jeffrey, the president and CEO of G Hospitality, to imagine possibilities for the future of Wareham Village. They talked about new businesses, mixed-use buildings, and broad walk. It was decided that the district's strength are our waterfront views, the nearby intersection of major highways, Cape Cod Flyer, the fact that it is already a fairly nice place to walk around as opposed to a blight industrial area. Challenges for the area are parking, vacant storefronts, a blighted building, and the perceptions of townspeople, officials, and also building owners. And to another news, remember that storm on Tuesday night? Well, Wareham's Department of Natural Resources found themselves rescuing a vessel in distress during night storm. The vessel was located just outside of Woods Hole in Falmouth and was not, in fact, taking any water. The night's severe weather had torn the vessel's sails, and the rough conditions prompted the crews to call for help. By 11:40 p.m., that is Tuesday night, the vessel was being escorted back to the Marion Harbor by the Marion Harbor Master Department, Wareham DNR, Marion and Mattapoisett Fire Departments, and the United States Coastal Guard. Into another news, the community might be saying goodbye to Jamie McIntosh, Wareham's Assistant Deputy Director, who has recently been offered a position as Town Harbor Master in Mattapoisett. And what began as a shoplifting incident at Rite Aid in Wareham Plaza escalated to a car chase, a car crash involving a cruiser, and a 2-hour search for the suspect. The suspect was then identified as Tammy Denwood, 41 years old, of Randolph. Wareham officers set up a perimeter to locate the suspect and were able to locate her after 2 hours of search with the assistance of the state police and Plymouth County Sheriff's Office. Denwood is facing a number of charges, including resisting arrest, assault, and battery with a dangerous weapon, 2 accounts of possession of Class B drug, and a possession of a Class E drug. That's all for this morning news. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more. And when we talk about toys special for children with autism, what do we mean by it? How are they different?
So they're sensory-based toys. So they can, like the jewelry, they can chew on it.
Okay.
And it's made for that. Or the lap pads, they're weighted, and the animals, they're weighted. And children with sensory, some of them, the weight calms them. Some of them need compression, some of them need weight, some of them need something cold. So it's a matter on finding what works for what kid.
Now, you're not only a businesswoman, but you also, as I said, a mother with two children with autism. I mean, tell me how effective these toys are. How diverse are they?
They really are great.
Okay.
I don't think getting through meltdowns and things like that would be possible without these toys. It would definitely be more overwhelming for parents without them. Like my son, when he has a meltdown, we have some Muddy Cove healers over there, and I put mine in the freezer. And when you put those on him, he calms down. And if that doesn't work, then he goes in his chair, swing in his room, and we swing him. And then he starts laughing, he forgets, he refocuses, and
So tell me about piercing it together. Where does that name come from?
well, puzzle piece.
Okay.
Everybody creates a puzzle piece thinks a puzzle piece with autism, and it pretty much is that. You're piecing your life together in different little pieces. You're always here, there, and everywhere as a parent, so piecing it together.
And what should people understand about autism and parents with children with autism?
Just because you know one child with autism doesn't mean you know autism. Every child is different. And if you see someone having a meltdown, don't judge them, because that's the biggest thing that parents get is judged. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And every child's different, so.
Welcome back. So now, because it is Friday, we get to host my favorite Russian. This is Nadia Karitnikova, our weekly news correspondent, who is in the studio this morning to digest this week's news and events. Good morning.
Good morning, Queen.
How you doing?
Great.
All right, so talk to me. What are you going to start with?
So I want to announce that Briarwood Beach is closed,
Announcement.
but Swift Neck Beach is open right now,
Okay.
as of yesterday.
Oh, they closed the boat, so one is open, one is closed.
Yes, but Briarwood Beach is a private one, so
Okay.
I feel like it's not as important as Swift Neck Beach,
Okay.
which is public.
All right, so tell me about, you were able, we had just a press release that was a day before yesterday, which was Wednesday. You got
Wednesday,
the press release,
actually.
right?
Yes.
But yesterday you did a follow-up and you were able to accumulate more information.
Yes.
Tell us what you found out.
So I went to Bob Ether's office. Bob Ether is a health board agent. He's a part of the board.
Okay.
And he told me that the bacteria that was found in the water is fecal coliform, which comes from animal waste. And the way it got into the water is due to the heavy rains that we have on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
So whenever it rains, obviously the ocean is located in the lowest lowest points compared to other. Sorry. And whenever it rains, all the animal waste that's found on the beach, like from dogs, from cats, all the trash from people's backyards, waste from seashore birds, geese, ducks, you name it, all this gets into the ocean, and obviously that's dangerous to swim in this.
So when they're talking about dangerous, what are repercussions does that have on us when we go swimming?
The repercussions is that you can get eye infection and skin irritation.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
But nothing deadly.
Nothing deadly, I believe. No, it's just the infection is not. It doesn't feel good. So I would say it's bad enough. Yes,
it's bad enough. Okay. So you said Briarwood is closed, but Swift Neck is
open.
Is open. Okay. How concerned are they? I mean, does this happen frequently? What do they say? It's just a part of nature?
It happens whenever mostly it rains.
Okay.
So once again, once it rains, all the waste either directly or indirectly through the storm sewage gets into the ocean. And the problem is that during the summer, the Board of Health is actually doing a great job.
Okay.
From my conversation with Bob Ether, because they, throughout the summer, from June 17th to August 27th, they have to test water every single Tuesday. So every single week they test the water. And it just happened that on that Tuesday it was pouring rain. So obviously the water was in the peak of like having all the waste.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Yes.
So at least they're out there, and I am glad that you were able to give us more information about this.
Yes.
Information that many people were, looking for, concerned
and
about.
Once the water actually is considered to be infected, the Board of Health actually tests it every single day after this, until the water is clean.
Very good.
Yes.
And in terms of like how many days they have to close the beach, are they obeying by a certain schedule, or just as long as the water reduces its bacteria levels?
So they will open the beach once the laboratory to which they bring the results, which is Country Water Quality Testing Laboratory, until they tell them, okay, this water sample is clean, you can open the beach.
Okay.
It usually takes 24 hours to analyze the results. So yeah, answering your question, as soon as the laboratory says that the water is safe, then they will open the beach, like they did yesterday.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, so let's move on to, we are talking about the Wareham police chase that happened.
On Wednesday.
That woman.
Exactly.
She seemed so homeless. Hey, what's her name here? We have Tammy, right? Tammy Denwood, 41 years old, of Randolph.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about her. Shoplifting.
Yes, I think the most, I don't know, weird thing is that she only stole $28 from Rite Aid.
You're not impressed.
It's to think that all this chase is worth such a small amount of money. I think it's just, she was first arrested, detained.
Okay.
Sorry, not arrested, detained for the shoplifting incident. And instead of accepting the consequences, she fled the scene. And that's when like a snowball started to accumulate. So she fled down the Marion Road from Rite Aid. Then police found her car next to Wareham Woods, which is apartment complex, not the woods actually.
Yes, yeah.
And then when she saw the policeman, she reversed the car, hit the policeman, and continued chasing down the road. Riding down the road, yes. And then they abandoned her car near the actual woods. And then she fled the area by the feet, and then police ambushed the area and detained her.
Oh my goodness, for only $28.66. Do we know what she shoplifted?
No, I don't. But the problem is that she also had
drugs in her system.
And
was it in her system or just drugs?
no, she had the scale and she had the drugs as well.
Okay.
And she has, I think, $900 in cash.
All right, so $921 in cash. She caused quite this day. I mean, hitting a cruiser, chasing, that must have took a lot of manpower from us, which equates to a lot of taxpayer money. And all for $28. And she's not even from Wareham, she's from Randolph.
Yes.
Shoplifting here, do we have any connection to what she was doing down here in Wareham?
Well, I believe, I suspect that she was trying to go to the Wareham Woods. Wareham,
all right.
Apartment which is notorious for having drug addicts.
Activities,
like,
yes.
honestly, every single report we published, almost every single story is from this apartment. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I think resisting the arrest is like one of the worst things, honestly. It makes
you don't think hitting a cruise is one of the...
It is worse, but like once you resist the arrest, I believe everything gets worse from this point. Honestly, just surrender.
Just surrender. Okay. Excuse me. You're going to be covering the Shakespeare show this Friday, but today, tomorrow,
and Sunday. Well, I'm going tomorrow, but it's going to be happening tomorrow.
Today and
tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Okay, Sunday. So what are you looking forward to, Shakespeare?
I'm looking to be very confused at what they're saying. Because I'm hoping that I will like go to the and read about the play beforehand. Otherwise,
you're gonna read about the play beforehand.
Of course, because otherwise I will have no clue what's going on there.
You know,
honestly.
they're very dramatic people, very
Okay.
theatrical people. When you go there, you gotta see them. They take their roles so seriously, which good for them, really good for them.
Yes.
But I mean, unless you've seen such a thing happen before, and we have footages of it on our YouTube channel, you're going to be completely confused by the scene. Like, what is taking place? What are they doing?
And
all
add
that.
the language.
The language
Yeah.
as well. I mean, it's not even fun to listen. I mean, I
No,
don't care.
I went to some in high school. Some
Yes.
of the acts of Shakespeare in high school. God, it was a struggle.
Yes. Though, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
I don't get it. Anyhow, so that's going to happen. You're covering it on Saturday, right?
Today, actually.
Today, I cannot wait to read about it.
Oh, thanks.
Oh. Okay, so then Peace for Ponies. This
Yes.
was postponed.
Yes, due to
Okay.
high heat wave.
High heat wave. What did they? They had to bring them back inside for air
Yes.
conditioning, cooling them?
Yes.
They did?
No, it's just, I believe outside is much hotter than in the
The band?
barn.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I talked to the Mrs. Bond. She confirmed that it is actually cooler in the barn than outside. It was
Okay.
super humid.
All right. So
That
she's
day.
having it this weekend.
Yes, I'm so happy about this.
You're going to, yeah. It's really a great site to be, and very happy place to be, to see all the donkeys and all that. I'm also going to come. I gotta figure out what time. Is it the same hours?
From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, 10 to 3 p.m.
Yes,
All
or
right,
3:30.
Saturday and Sunday.
Only Sunday.
Only Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
And then in August as well.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll be there. I'll be there on Sunday.
Perfect.
Bring my camera to see little donkeys, aka ASS, right? All right. Well, that's how they're called, right?
Yes.
Anyhow, no, it's like for those who cannot see no. Well, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Quinn.
being here, and good luck to you this weekend in Shakespeare today.
Thanks.
So that was Nadia Karitnikova, our weekly news correspondent here in the studio to digest this week's news and the events. She'll be covering the Shakespeare play tonight at what Onset, right? Onset Pier. Okay, Benshaw. She'll be there covering the Shakespeare play. So if you want to know what exactly the play is about, who is in the play, stay tuned to read her article that's going to be published today before the day's end. Right, Nadia?
Correct.
Correct. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more. Well, last week, Bob White and I visited Scott Record home to learn about his classic clam chowder recipe. Oh my goodness, it was delicious to die for. And you too can make it right at your home. So you have to pay close attention to how he makes his classic clam chowder. Take a look.
You'll get to see it, we'll get to taste it, and you'll get to make it.
I'll take you far away, far away, far away.
Hi, this is Scott Record. We're here on beautiful Buzzards Bay. Real capey day. I'm here to show you how to make classic clam chowder from start to finish. By start, I mean I'm gonna dig the clams. This is my clam rake. I've come out here at low tide. The way you find them, you know, the clams around here are called quahogs, which is an old Wampanoag Indian term, quahogs, but they're sea clams. big ones are called bulls, the little ones that you eat raw are cherry stones. So I'm gonna feel around with my foot while I'm talking to you. I'm looking for what feels like cobblestones. I'll feel a little bump, there's a bump, and there's a couple of bumps. So then I take this rake, go in, rake it in the sand and lift it up. Let me find that bump again. There we go, hold on. Success. Success. All right. If you can look and see in there, I just got 5. That's a nice haul. And I always bring my trusty life preserver in my old bucket. That's a bushel, and that's what's allowed. I have my clam license in my pocket. We do everything legal. This is a bull. This is probably half a pound of meat in there. That's a bull one. Another bull. Over here. There's nothing fresher than this. Look at these dudes. These are 2 kind of big cherry stones. In fact, I'll show you how cool this is. In my pocket, always carry your shucking knife. Because I'm an old shucker, and I've been shucking for years. So what you do is you come in the side with the shucking knife. Boy, these guys, woo! He's tough. You find another one. When they're right out of the water, they're so tough to get into. But I'm gonna get this guy. I'm in. Come around like this. Bring the shucking knife around. He's open. There's a couple of muscles you have to cut on the side. And then, voila. That's the baby. So you take the knife, go around the outside, cut this film off. It's all part of it. It's all edible. Comes in like this. I now have a loose clam that I just got out of the ocean. And it's in my belly. I love it. There's nothing better. Once the clam chowder's made, a perfect matching would be a very fine Puligny Montrachet, which is a very, very fine white wine from the French region, near the Bordeaux region, but actually, isn't Mother Nature wonderful? Hey, Scott, I'm back at the house. We're inside now. We've dug the clams. We dug up the Puligny Montrachet, which is now being chilled. We're here for classic clam chowder, and you have to start out very beginning with salt pork. You have to have a piece of salt pork, and you have to have it slightly frozen because it cuts easier. I'm gonna do a magic trick and appear with the salt pork. See nothing in my hands? Boom, magic. All right, this is salt pork. This is about 10 ounces of salt pork, and it's sliced. It's pre-sliced, which helps you cut it down into little, tiny little chunks. But it's frozen, it's partially frozen. It makes it a lot easier. So if you see how it's cut? It's already sliced that way. So I'm gonna take it and cut it this way. Nice big cast iron Le Creuset pot. This goes here, and this all goes in at the same time, all this salt pork. I've got the smallest amount of heat on there, and there's the pork. I'm gonna put the cover on this cast iron Dutch oven, and it will render down. Now, potato time. So these potatoes are organic Yukon Gold potatoes. Because of the flavor, the Yukon Gold is excellent. I won't peel these. We'll wash them and use the skin because all the nutrients are in the skin. And I stress organic in every ingredient in this because, let's put it this way, it takes 5 cucumbers from the regular store to give you the same amount of nutrition as one organic cucumber. That's why people may sometimes be a little bit larger, because we have that caveman need for nutrition like the cavemen had. Same thing, we're just humans with basic DNA, the same thing. We require that nutrition, but because of hybridization and GMO and all the kind of stuff that they do to vegetables now, you need 5 vegetables of regular quality to be equal to an organic vegetable. So you eat more to try to get more nutrition. Anyway, here's the organic Yukon Gold. I'm gonna rinse them off, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how I like them cut. So here's what I'm gonna do. When we cut the veggies, when we cut the celery, when we cut the potatoes, I want big chunks. Because what happens is if it's left there to cook for a long time, be it a soup, be it a chowder, be it anything like that, if it's left in the wet and cooking for a long time, it will disappear. It'll just cook away. So big chunks potatoes, big chunks celery, ends up having a nice, hearty chowder at the end. So when I was in the water earlier, digging the quahogs, this is what we came up with. These babies right here, all right? Beautiful. Different sizes, lots of meat. And when I want a clam chowder, if I go in a restaurant, I want to taste the clams. I want the clams to be there. So I want to save the clam meat, which will be saved in a colander. But the colander will be in this pot so that I can save the clam juice, because that's a big, big part of the chowder. To do this correctly, I have my clamming knife, my shucking knife here, very special, my favorite one. And then this glove, it just looks like a white mesh glove. It's a metal mesh, which if anybody's gonna be shucking clams, I would highly recommend finding yourself one of these, because you can just hit it by accident, but you're not gonna puncture, you're not gonna cut your hand because of the metal mesh. And I've had this from a dear friend. Tom Casella gave me this 6 years ago. It's the greatest thing. So now, here's the quahog. And of course, as you know, the 2 shells come together at this seam. They're holding it together with a muscle. So I hold this in my palm, put my knife there. And I get in. I actually cracked that shell, but see the juice coming out? That is gold, folks, right there. Liquid gold. So it gave me a little bit of problem by cracking the shell, but I go around the sides. There's a muscle on each side that I want to sever. Now she opens up. Cut this little ribbon, which is their seal. I think it's their seal. And cut the seal around the top, cut the seal around the bottom, like that. The whole clam meat is in there, and the shell is right here. And we will just continue on with all of these clams. By the way, do you see the purple on the outer edge of the inner shell? The purple, the Wampanoag Indians would call wampum. They would break this purple off like this. This shell has lots of wampum. This one has a bit on the ends. So they would break it up, and it was their form of currency. They would use wampum to buy things, to exchange animals and this, that, and the other into. It was an amazing thing. So this is one incredible shell with wampum. It's like 2.5 pounds, as I said, of clams. It's nice to put them in a long cutting pattern, because then I really only have to go through it once. But there's some gigantic pieces in here, and then they'll just be good-sized chunks. so it's salt pork, so it's salty. I don't put any salt in it. I use unsalted butter. I'm going to put the clams in with the clam juice, and then put the potatoes in. And everybody will start getting real friendly. It'll be like a nice community meeting.
O sol e o mar é dia de praia e você é sereia. Quero voar, quero
So here we are. What we have in here now, we started with the salt pork and cut it up into little bits and rendered it for an awful long time, so there was quite a bit of fat. And I don't use any salt while cooking because that salt pork is salty. Then we cut the vegetables. We cut the onions, the celery, in big chunks. Cook them in the rendered salt fat. Then I've taken the clams. The clams are chopped and they're in there, 2.5 pounds of clams. The clam juice is in there, and now that we're boiling a little bit, I'm going to take those beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes, and in they go. I don't want to splatter. Like that. Just let them go a little bit. I want to see pepper. I want ground pepper. So look at this, look at this, look at what happens here. Look at, can you see that? Isn't this wonderful? So now we're back here with the thickener, and the product is now just about finished. We're boiling, which is great. The potatoes are soft. The clams are in there, everything's in there you've seen from start to finish. And now, put a little bit flour and water mixture. Because it's boiling, we will get thickness. I don't like very, 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 very thick. And then we will finish it off with some cream.
te amar na areia. O sol e o mar é dia de praia e você é sereia. Quero voar.
I don't know who this guy is over here next to me. Actually, a boat washed up on shore with Italian written on the side of it, Italian words. And this guy comes up here and he's hungry, so we're gonna give him some chowder. I'm Pietro.
I'm Pietro.
I am Pietro. From Italy, a boat washed up on shore. I mean, I've had San Salvador people wash up on shore, but this is a first. So, tell me what you think.
It looks delicious. Big chunks of potato.
Yeah.
You know,
Plenty of clams.
it's funny how you said that you didn't put any salt, because
Right.
everything would have natural salt, and that's what you taste.
I hope the finish is worth it.
Oh, it's delicious. Thank you so much for having us today.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
We're gonna cook something else for you soon, so stay tuned. I'm eating. No more talk.
You know what, Doc? This is good.
Mm.
So go out there, get yourself the license, and dig up some clams and make classic clam chowder. We're gonna take a break and we'll be right back. Hello, and thank you for being with us this morning. We are broadcasting live right from our WCTV studio in Wareham. This is Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news, weather, traffic report, and more information. Right now is the moment in history. Let's take a look at where we were today in history. Well, I don't know about you, but my mail is very important to me. So today in history, today in mail history, the United States Postal System was established in 1775. The Second Continental Congress approved of this system, and Benjamin Franklin was named the first Postmaster General. By 1789, about 75 post offices were established in the New England, in the new country. Today, there are more than 40,000 post offices in the country. I believe in Wareham, how many do we have? Is it two? Maybe three or four. I'm thinking Onset, we have one right on Main Street in Wareham. Yeah, maybe three or four. Oh, so maybe three or four, but yes. Anyhow, we're moving on. Another U.S. institution was established today as the Federal Bureau of Investigation was founded in 1908. This department was created to provide independent and efficient investigation, as the Department of Justice had no permanent investigators. Today, the FBI is both an important part of the American government and an important part of American pop culture. A famous line from the movies or TV shows is, "Freeze, FBI." Anyhow, moving on. And today's birthday shout out goes to, let me get this name correctly. Shout out goes to the best movie directors of all time, that is Stanley Kubrick. With countless classics across multiple genres like A Clockwork Orange and The Shining. He was born in 1928 and passed away in 1999 at the age of 70. According to IMDb, he has 16 director credits. That's all for Today in History segment. To learn more cool historical facts, please go online under history.com. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with more. My apologies for what happened. Apparently the switcher ceased to work, and so we are sorry. We could not take care of the problem nicely and discreetly. So we are back, and we're going to continue with our regular routine. So we just finished the history segment. We're going to take a break, but first, and then we got today's coffee segment is going to be Indiana Troop, our youth outreach coordinator who is in the studio today with Danielle Ambrose. Danielle Ambrose. So we're going to hear from Steve Miller, who's going to be highlighting a couple of fiction books.
Welcome to our fourth installment of Checkout of the Week from the Wareham Free Library. This week, we're going to highlight 3 nonfiction books that are currently on the shelf right now. The first book I want to highlight is the New York Times bestseller, Accidental Presidents by Jared Cohen. Only 8 men have succeeded the presidency when an incumbent died in office. Each one detailed how each changed history once they took office. They include John Tyler, Millard Fillmore, Andrew Johnson, Chester Alan Arthur, Teddy Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, Harry S. Truman, and Lyndon Johnson. If you ever wanted to know more about the office of the president, check out this very interesting book. Dropping in just in time for the 50th anniversary of the moon landing is the book American Moonshot by Douglas Brinkley. The book details the men and women who fueled the birth of NASA and guided America through the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo space programs. If you're into reliving this amazing moment in history, or you want to know more about the space program, check out this book today. Lastly, I found another interesting and timely book on the shelf called The Fate of Food by Amanda Little. With threats of climate change and the explosion of the world's population by mid-century, how are we going to feed 9 billion people over the coming decades? Little, a professor at Vanderbilt University, sets out to answer this question by visiting apple orchards in Wisconsin, remote-controlled organic farms in Shanghai, and fish farms in Norway. Read about how the lessons of the past are helping shape of human ingenuity in the future. I wanted to close out this week's episode by announcing the dates for our upcoming book sale, which is put on by the Friends of the Wareham Free Library to help benefit the library. Those dates are Monday, July 22nd, in a Friends-only sale from 5 to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday of the same week will go from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Thursday will run from 1 to 7:30 p.m. And on Saturday, July 27th, the times will be 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of Checkout of the Week from the Wareham Free Library.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining us on our third segment of Youth Talk. My name is Indiana Troop, and I'm WCTV's Youth Outreach Coordinator, Good Morning Wareham's Youth Correspondent, and your host of Youth Talk. Lots of youth there. In this morning's episode, we'll talk to Danielle Ambrose, a graduate of the Wareham High School class of 2008, who now works as a school nurse at Minot Forest. We'll also, as always, discuss youth news and upcoming youth events. But before all that, let's get right into our interview. In the studio today, we have Danielle Ambrose. She is the school nurse at Minot Forest School, previously a registered nurse, emergency room technician, and clinical assistant, and graduated from Wareham High School in 2008. So let's go on over to our coffee area with Danielle Ambrose. I'm going to sneak over here. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. Thank you for coming. So my first question is, so tell me about your journey from Wareham High School graduate to Minot Forest School nurse.
After I graduated in 2008, I decided I wanted to try something different, explore the world, and go to Boston. So I went to school in Boston, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in the medical field, as if I wanted to be a doctor, research, nurse. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I opted to do medical assisting, got my associate's degree in science, where I ended up working at Mass General for a little while. And then I always, like, as a kid, wanted to work in the emergency room after watching the TV shows Untold Stories of the ER. And I was like, that's so cool. I need to go do something like that. So I ended up just applying to Beth Israel in Boston and ended up getting a job. And then I always had a passion for children, so I diverted and applied to Children's Hospital, where I became a clinical assistant there. And then I finally got accepted to nursing school, so I went to Labouré in Milton. So I worked 2 jobs in nursing school and completed it, and here I am.
That is awesome. That's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what made you want to come back to Wareham after all that?
After being in Boston for so long, I started missing my family and my friends and just Wareham overall. It's a beautiful place, the beaches, the people. It's where I grew up. It's my home.
That's great. How did attending Wareham schools prepare you for success in the real world?
Wareham had a lot of different clubs that they offered. I was a part of DECA. I was a part of Best Buddies. I did the yearbook. I did some sports. I did prom committee. So being a part of a community and learning different aspects and learning from different people, just that helped me become the person I am today.
Great. What's your favorite part about being the school nurse?
I work with the 3rd and 4th grade at Minot, and just seeing their smiling faces every day and just being able to be a part of their journey, watching them grow, not only in the classroom setting, but also they're trying to figure out who they are. And that's, being a part of their journey is an honor, and I can't wait to see them grow and see what they do as they get older.
That's awesome. And what's the most interesting thing that's happened so far?
This is about myself. So I decided to go outside and watch the 4th grade attend their field day, which is a fun thing that the kids get to do. And I thought I wanted to be 10 years old again instead of being almost 30. And I was playing with them, and I actually hurt my leg and ended up on crutches.
Oh,
and all the kids would come up to me and give me hugs and ask if I was okay. And I will never forget, these 2 little girls would get off the bus every morning because they seen me walking to the school, and they would take my bag and help me to my office. And, just seeing, the kindness around the school and seeing kids help each other and adults as well is, amazing. Yeah. And it's great to be a part of that type of community.
Right. What is it like working in your hometown, Wareham?
It's neat because I graduated with a lot of different people, and a lot of people I've graduated with now have children, and I get to take care of their children, and sometimes I have to call them and be like, hi, it's Danielle, and they're like, oh my goodness, and then I'll tell whoever the child is, I'm like, I went to school with your mom, I went to school with your dad, and they're like, no way, and I'm like, don't think I'm old, because I'm not that old yet.
That's funny. Do you have any plans or ideas that you'd like to put in place as the school nurse?
I do. I see a big issue that I see not only in Wareham, but it's everywhere, is bullying. And I would like to start a anti-bullying campaign where we do a walk with the 3rd and 4th grade, just to make, you can start them young and teach them how to be kind and, not to judge people on how someone with a disability may look or, anything. Right. So hopefully I'd like to, get something like that put together. And I think it would be just great for the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it like working for a school inside of a school? Because a while back they merged Minot Forest with the middle school, and now since that Minot Forest, the actual school is torn down. So what's it like, so now there's 2 nurses in one building, is that right?
Yes, we share an office together. So her name's Sue Akins, and she deals with the middle school, and they're 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, and I do the 3rd and 4th grade. So they come in the office, and we help each other out. We, if I'm busy and she's not so busy, she'll see some of the kids just to, help out with the different situations. And you know, it's fun. I'm excited to see the kids that I had in 4th grade go to 5th grade, and they graduated from me, so they're gonna see her next year if they go.
Yeah.
And I tell them that, I'm like, you're gonna go see her. And it will be interesting to see how much they've grown and to see, you know.
Right. And what would you say to any students of Wareham watching today? Because I was telling you earlier, and there's a lot of stigmas about Wareham and Wareham schools, and when we look at someone like you who graduated from Wareham High School and 10 years later is now working back in Wareham and super successful. So what would you say to any students watching that are wondering or wanting to have the same path as you? What would you say to any students watching?
I would say keep an open mind, be kind. You know, you're going to meet so many different people in your life who are going to teach you different things, and you know, sometimes people have to go explore the world before they really realize that where they grew up is their home, and that's what it took for me. But it's a great place. I love the community. Everyone's so nice. Everyone in the school system is so helpful, and we just want the best for the children and to watch them and see them grow and be successful.
Mm-hmm. So, as a nurse, what are your plans for the future? Do you want to retire in Wareham? Do you want to stay here? What's the plan?
I'm working on my master's degree right now, so eventually I'm hoping I can teach nursing students and continue working in the school system. I'm enjoying it, and I love seeing the kids and meeting different people and learning from that. I mean, like anyone, I'd like to retire now, but
right.
But I don't know. I think I like to retire from the school system, and we'll see, maybe somewhere tropical. Not sure yet.
Yeah.
But Wareham will always be my home, so no matter where I go, it's a part of me.
That is so great. That's really amazing. So thank you for coming on our show today. It was awesome to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Great guest. Thank you so
you.
much. So yeah, we're going to go to a short break, and then we'll be back with youth news and events. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Youth Talk, and we're here with youth news and events now. So, free summer lunches are back. Kids and teens will be able to receive free lunches in Onset and Wareham from June 24th to August 23rd, Monday through Friday. Lunches will be served from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., and for more information, including serving locations, go to www.mealsforkids.org. Do you like to play chess? The Wareham Free Library is offering a chess club Monday nights from 6 to 7:30 in the conference room. All ages and skills are welcome, and for more information, please contact Outreach Librarian Stephen Miller at 508-295-2343, extension 1012. Shakespeare in the Park is back. Join us this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday from 6:30 to 9:30 for some old-fashioned Shakespeare, and we'll also be broadcasting live on Sunday, Shakespeare from the Park, here on WCTV. Looking for something to do today? Head on down to Good Life Nutrition and participate in Shake It for Camp Sunshine. Go visit Good Life to get a yummy shake and raise money for Camp Sunshine, a free camp in Maine for children with disabilities. Still looking for summer camp options? Stay tuned throughout the summer to find out more about different area camps. The Wareham Gatemen have a game tomorrow at Spillane Field. The game will be against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at 6:45 p.m. I think that is it. Also, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, head to Onset Beach for some free fun and rent a kayak. Namaska Kayak Rentals will provide you with a kayak for a certain amount of time, and you can explore the beautiful Onset Bay for a low price. And who knows, if you go to Onset Beach or downtown Onset area today, you might just see me and my crew filming our new show, Street Talk. So come on down to Onset today and you might just see us. But now it is that time of the show. We have to close the show. So if you'd like to be on Youth Talk, we'd love to have you. We're always looking for guests that are holding a kid-friendly event or that are willing to talk about kids in our community to be on the show. Send me an email at indiana.warehamtv@gmail.com. That's indiana.warehamtv@gmail.com. We'll see you next time. I'm Indiana Troop, Good Morning Wareham's youth correspondent. This has been another segment of Youth Talk and another episode of Good Morning Wareham. If you missed us this morning, don't worry. The show will be rebroadcasted at 6 p.m. tonight and posted on our YouTube channel, Wareham TV. We hope you'll tune in Monday, for more news, weather, traffic, guests, and more. Good Morning Wareham, and we'll see you next time. Bye.